Hello and welcome to Hero Wars Info. My name is Ryan. Today we are going to be talking about new players, and specifically the strategy for new players and what they should be doing, what heroes they should be thinking about, where they should be spending their emeralds. I've actually been talking to someone who is relatively new, which got me to thinking about creating this video. So I moved over to one of my alt accounts that I had already moved up to level 30 as kind of an example of what a new account could look like. So first, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through all of the different modes that you would have available and explaining those and what they do. So first off, we have the campaign. The campaign is kind of, especially at the beginning, the central part of what you, as a new player, are going to be experiencing. These are going to be missions that get you items or fragments of items to make your hero stronger. There are currently, I believe, 15 chapters within the campaign. And as you move along, you'll be able to get more and more powerful items to upgrade your heroes. So, for example, right now, if you went to level 1, you can see you're only getting gray items. But if you've got to level 4, you're starting to get some green items and some blue items, which you would then use to upgrade your heroes and move forward. So that's what the campaign is. We then have the airship. The airship is where you would do expeditions that get you artifact fragments to upgrade your hero's skills. Now, there's going to be three different types of artifacts. We have the artifact essences. We have and let's go ahead and just buy one of these. The artifact scrolls. And we have the artifact metals. Now, each of these, if you choose to use these, they upgrade the amount of underlying gain that you get for that particular artifact. Now, there's two different ways that you can upgrade. Number one is just by using the actual artifacts and by clicking upgrade level. The other way is by upgrading the actual underlying ability, which is rings, books, and the items. Each of these provide different specific resources. The item will give you whenever you alt or use your hero's ability, it will give you a specific bonus for 8 or 9 seconds that will help the entire team. So, for example, in Arachne's case, this is magic penetration. And then for her case, for the book, she would get armor and magic defense. And then for the ring, she would just get agility. All of these provide stat increases to the hero. Now, going on expeditions will get you different medals and potentially items to upgrade your heroes. You would just be able to keep on click on those. There's a certain amount that you can get per day, as well as if you have Valkyrie's favor, which is if you even are a low spender, that's probably the best buy that you can do. I think it's 199 per week. By far the best buy if you're going to just spend like let's say $5, $8 a month, that's what you should be getting. It helps really speed up the game. And then there's this one that if you are VIP, I believe 8 or more, you can go ahead and do this on a daily basis too. And this actually has two missions that reset. All right. Next up is the Soul Atrium. This is where you would be getting souls from your uh, from actually summoning um, via soul crystals. So every single day you'll get one soul crystal minimum that you would be able to utilize and summon different souls for heroes. So in this case, I got 5 Luther souls. This is, and we'll go over the best places to use emeralds. This is not a good place to use emeralds. You do not want to use emeralds here. you will eventually, and it will be one of the first things that you do as you continue playing the game, is you will eventually max out your hero souls. And there's a lot of different ways to get soul stones, so I would not recommend that. Outland chests. These chests are daily chests that you can get, one of each type: intelligence, strength, as well as agility. Now, you can fight the bosses right here to upgrade and get a slightly better reward per day. And it will give you an extra Outland chest. This is not a bad place, especially if you're new to spend emeralds, since these skin stones are going to help you get your heroes stronger quicker. So not a bad place, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. The tower is the place where you would be able to fight um, different different teams of computers. And what's going to happen as you advance through the towers is that you're going to be getting rewards and upgrades through it. So, for example, it will allow me to increase different aspects of my heroes. And then, as I keep on passing levels, it will allow me to get either some gold, tower coins, or an item depending on what I pick. Now, I would highly recommend that you are try to max out the tower on a daily basis. It's going to really help you. I would not recommend, especially if you're new, ever spending emeralds in the tower. Do not do it. All right. Next up, we have our merchant. Our merchant will sell items on a daily basis via the coins that you collect, whether arena coins, tower coins, friendship coins, outland coins, or grand arena coins, which this is a level 30 account, so I haven't even opened grand arena. The arena is just having your best team fight against other people's teams. The grand arena is having your three best team fights against three of the other people's teams in PvP. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and join a guild so that we can show you some of the other modes. And unfortunately, I don't have access to them, at least these three, but I'll explain what each of them are. So this is Asgard. Asgard will allow you to ascend your character's abilities and fight a boss with your whole guild on a weekly basis. There are currently two bosses. We have Maestro, which is the newest boss, and Osh, which is the older boss. There are certain heroes that against perform really well against Osh and Maestro. And those are the heroes that you're going to potentially want to think about upgrading at the very beginning of the game. And we'll go over that in just a sec. Then here we have our Valley of the Elements. This is kind of our Titan upgrading area. This will allow you to be able to get totems, upgrade your Titans, and do Titan spheres, as well as the tournament of elements that you'll be able to get more resources for upgrading your Titans. If you are a new player, you want to try to maximize this as much as you can. Well, at the same time, I would not be spending emeralds here. And then lastly, we have our pet sanctuary, which is going to allow you to start to get pets and upgrade those pets with chaos particles and soul stones. I also would not recommend you spending emeralds here as a new player. So, as a new player, where should we be spending emeralds? I would really have two different areas that I would be spending emeralds. Number one is Outland chests. And just to be clear, I would want to make sure that spending emeralds only whenever I have a lot of different quests with the different events that will allow me to double or triple dip on those particular events. Meaning that I would only utilize this if it were going to really help me get a lot of different resources at the same time. But you can open chests using 8 and 90 emeralds right here that will get you resources to help you upgrade your heroes. And especially early on, heroes are what you want to be thinking about upgrading. The other area that I would use emeralds, if I'm a new player, is the airship, which you can use emeralds right here by opening 10 of these. Now, if you do that, what will happen is you will get artifact coins, different books, different weapons, and different artifacts that you can then use to um, upgrade your heroes. But let's go ahead and get into heroes and what that looks like. Looks like I had to collect a lot of stuff. Okay, so heroes are the backbone of Hero Wars, obviously. And it's going to be really important to figure out what heroes you want to invest in early. So the general consensus is that you're going to be looking for one tank, one healer, at least one damage dealer, and one support or control to kind of round out your team. And then figure out what you're really missing, and then add one other hero of a different kind. So there are some teams that you can think about are upgrading a Heidi Iris team. Iris is a little bit harder to get than Heidi, but they have a really good connection, Heidi and Iris, as damage dealers. And this is specifically for damage dealers. Astaroth is a tank that you'll get early in the game. Um, he's pretty solid tank throughout the entire game. He'll be able to, he doesn't do a lot of damage, but he can protect your team pretty well as has a little bit of a control ability to steal energy from the opposing team. Other tanks that you can be thinking about are Aurora, who is probably personally my favorite tank. Just because against physical teams, she will be able to stop them in their tracks. And she can do quite a bit of damage too with her abilities if you can get her up maximized on dodge. Her big thing is dodging different heroes and being able to gain energy quickly by dodging. So I really like Aurora. Other tank heroes that you can think about early are Galahad. He's not the best at the end game, so I would probably avoid him. And then the other heroes that are tanks are kind of niche. So, for example, Rufus is a really good tank, but only for defense. You don't really want to use him for attacking unless you're in very particular circumstances. Julius is not a bad tank. Mushy and Shroom is not a bad tank, but again, they're more specific circumstances rather than kind of all around tanks. All right, let's talk about healers. There's a few healers in the game that you can get early. Number one is Thea. She's going to be the first one. She is a solid healer all around. If you want to just have her be your main healer, that's going to be fine. Another healer is Martha. Martha is really only that good in long fights. If it is a short fight, Martha is not going to be a good healer because the way she heals is by throwing a totem down. And that takes a little bit of time before that totem gets thrown down. So, not my absolute favorite, but she is very good in certain circumstances. Probably my personal favorite healer that is kind of a healer damage hybrid is Celeste. So Celeste can, based off of her alt, go between a healer or a damage. So it's really nice that you can choose whether you want her to heal or do damage. And she's very good at both. And if you're playing manual mode, you can leave her in a healer mode, or you can move her back, depending on what you need. So you can get Celeste early. I think it does require a $2 purchase at the beginning of the game. Um, but I would highly recommend Celeste. She's good throughout the entire game. Really good early game, really good late game. She's probably a top 5 hero for me. The other hero that you can be thinking about, depending on your team structure, is Dorian. And Dorian, the way that he utilizes hero is vampirism. And he basically allows heroes to heal themselves based off of their damage. In certain teams, he can be very good. All right. Now let's talk about damage heroes. So one of the combos that you can get early that is pretty solid is this Maya Arachne combo. If you utilize both of them, um, Maya is a little bit of a support hero in that she can heal, that she does some damage. She's kind of a little bit of all around. Arachne is a control hero where what she does is basically stuns the target. They have a pretty good chemistry, and if you're going to be doing this, some heroes that you could pair up with them are Aurora, Celeste is good with that combo. Um, Polaris would be good with this combo. Nebula as a support is good with that combo. Um, but this is relatively early game. It can be stopped later game pretty easily. So I'm not sure I would really recommend Arachne and Maya at the very beginning, unless you really like these heroes. I've already mentioned Heidi and Iris, but the really popular one nowadays is the Orion and Augustus line. Basically, what happens with the Orion and Augustus line is that Augustus's ability is to allow magic damage to become pure damage over time. It erases the magic defense of the opposing team so that the person who does magic damage, which is Orion, is going to be doing basically pure damage with their ability. And Orion is a good damage dealer. Now combine that with someone like Nebula, and you have a very good combo here. So that's probably right now, at least that is the tier team, the Augustus Orion plus whatever. Now that can be used with Aurora Celeste. I've seen good Aurora Celeste, Orion Augustus teams with a support, usually Nebula. And let's go ahead and get to some support heroes that you are going to want to upgrade. The first one that I think is probably the best hero in the game is Nebula. Nebula is a great hero, probably my favorite. She is useful in so many scenarios, and what she does is she basically supercharges a damage dealer hero that you want to supercharge, as long as she's next to him in line. So Nebula is absolutely a hero you want to upgrade. She is good for Osh. She is good for Maestro. She is good for PvP. She is good for everything. So Nebula is a very strong. I would always, if I was starting, Nebula would absolutely be part of my team. I would make sure I got Nebula. The way you can get her soul stones are through soulstone chests, obviously. But if you are in a guild and you have this Valley of the Elements, there is a place that you can trade out. And let me go ahead and change to a different account so I can give you a little bit of better idea. Let's go ahead and just go to this one. But if you go to this account and the Valley of the Elements, there is a place where you can exchange tournament certificates for specific heroes. One of those heroes is going to be Nebula. So let's go ahead, join a guild, Titan Valley, and this merchant right here. If you do have elemental tournament certificates, Nebula is one of the heroes that you can utilize to get soul stones. So a great person to do that. All right, let's talk about Sebastian. Sebastian is also a very good hero. He is a support hero, and basically what he does is he removes a lot of the negative effects that other heroes can throw on you, whether it be stuns, debuffs, um, draining energy, like with Jorgen. He basically protects you from a lot of different things. Now, Sebastian is best used in critical hit teams. So physical teams that have like Dante teams, Jew teams, um, let's see here, Lara Croft teams, things of that nature that have a physical or a critical hit as a potential ability. But in other teams, he can still be very useful, and he's useful in Osh too. So always one of the main heroes I would level up. And then lastly, the other hero that I want to go over is Isaac. And Isaac is a top tier hero because Isaac basically negates any magic damage dealers. He is the perfect counter to magic teams, and he is essential in an Osh team. So I would highly recommend you upgrade Isaac too. If you can have him as part of your main team, he would be great as part of your main team. Um, One of the teams that you can be thinking about is maybe a Aurora, Isaac, Nebula, Celeste, and we can throw a damage dealer in there. Let's go ahead and throw. If you can get Lara Croft, just because it's going to be that's going to be a pretty large part of your Osh team. Or you could just choose to level your Osh team, which is going to be Isaac, Nebula, Sebastian, either Jew or Lara Croft, and Martha. So that's another option. Um, I love this combo, the Aurora Celeste combo. Heidi is one of my favorite heroes too. Um, and Heidi and Iris work really well together. Heidi by himself, especially if he's boosted by Nebula, can be really good. So it's really up to you on the combo that you want to choose. There's a lot of good combos out there. Choose what you like is the best advice. Now, finally, let's talk about places to spend emeralds. I've already talked. Outland chests is a good place if you are not going to be spending a lot. If you're not going to be spending a lot, Outland chests and the airship with the opening these keys are the two best places that I would recommend. The other place is the energy on a daily basis. You can spend 50 energy twice to get 120, or 50 emeralds to get 120 energy twice. That's a really good value. Once it gets to 100, if you're not a spender, I would stop doing that. Now, if you are a spender and you want to start to think about, okay, where should I start to spend emeralds? The biggest place is the Titan Valley and the Altar of the Elements, especially right here. You're going to want to get your totems up to as high as level as possible, and the best way to do that is the Altar of the Elements, which will get you Titan artifacts as well as potentially a totem. So, highly recommend you spending your emeralds right here if you are planning on being a big spender and trying to help out in Guild Wars a lot. That is going to do it for this episode. If you have any other questions that you would like me to answer as a new player or things that just still don't make sense, please go ahead and let me know. If you can, like and subscribe, it would really help the channel, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.